Chapter 6, Crisis of Truth. We take it on faith that there is such a thing as fact, that events transpire in one objective way. We rationalize wildly differing accounts of events as failures of perception. We continue to doggedly believe in a linear narrative of events despite seemingly infinite amounts of evidence to the contrary. For example, we construct highly complex legal entities around this ideal. Let us take stock of what we have explained thus far. 1. There is a cyclical spiracle connecting structure to base reality. 2. Consciousness, mind, precedes and creates reality. 3. Universes can collide, creating different memories of the collective past, the Mandela Effect. I don't mean to suggest there is no such thing as truth. I'm saying two contradictory things can be simultaneously true. This may not be a healthy state of reality. We should be concerned about it. It could be an indication of base reality dysfunction. How can this happen? It goes back to Musk's simulation. While I believe we debunked the idea of a computer simulation, the metaphor is still apt. We are in a consciousness simulation, which we're calling base reality. If one at least understands that it's consciousness creating our collective reality, colliding truths should be no surprise. Now we can explore these truths. Now we can explore why these truths are colliding. So that's the end of chapter 6. And I guess I put a photo in the book. I put a photo of Schrodinger's cat experiment. So this is really where we start to get into why we need the Truth Cypher. What is going on? So I'll try to expound upon what I've written here. As you know, the title of this book is, the subtitle of this book is Decoding a Base Reality Where Conflicting Events Are Simultaneously True. Now, think about that for a second. Like, why? How could that be? How could two things be simultaneously true? Well, I don't know. Perhaps we can't really understand the mechanism, but let's say you read a lot of news. Let's say you're of one political persuasion, so you're kind of enmeshed in that persuasion. But then you say, you know what? I want to see what the other side says, and then you read that they are describing different facts. You could be hearing completely contradictory things of actual what you believed was agreed upon reality. So, in a sort of in a way, like you have two different groups that believe different facts, and I think instinctually, and maybe we're taught to believe there's only one way. So if you believe there's only one way, then you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to go with my group. The other group is just wrong. They're morons. We're going with the other group, my team. And that's kind of how most people, in my observation, identify politically and function. Nobody really, I think most people don't consider what I've laid out here, that there is, what if you're both right? What if reality is conforming itself to your perception and just saying, I'm going to reveal things that confirm your I'm going to reveal confirmation bias on this side, complete with material facts, and on the other side you get the same thing. So I think that's the core of why I wrote this book, because if you start to think about quantum theory, Schrodinger's cat, how, the observer, you don't know if the cat is dead or alive until you look in the box. Like, when you're not looking in the box, the potentiality of both realities still exist. So I think what we have is something like that. We have basically we are, we are choosing realities and turning them into facts. It seems preposterous, and I can understand why it seems preposterous, because even if you and your friend witnessed an event and then you both describe the event and you come up with different facts, you kind of intuitively believe, well, that's just our perception, and there's a, if you were to objectively look at the event, there would be a truth to the event. However, if you think about the slits experiment, only when there's an observer does reality conform a certain way. Does reality actually cease to be potential? So, but you and your friend have two different perceptions. That's two different realities. In a future chapter, I'm going to say that's two different multiverses. I'm going to say every person is a multiverse. The multiverse is not this vast, or it is this vast thing where we all have a collective, we all share a collective corner of an infinity of multiverses, yes, but even at the individual level, we are also a multiverse. So we're a multiverse we are multiverses within multiverses. And that is why we are manifesting myriad of confirmation bias for realities that we choose. So if you and your friend witness an event, but there's no third party to witness that event, and what would the third party be? Another friend? No. Would it be God? It would have to be God. So if you believe in that there is just one revealed way reality transpires, the only observer would be like an anthropomorphic God to sort of settle that case. I don't think there is an anthropomorphic God. There is certainly intelligence. I believe there's intelligence in the universe, which we've talked about, but it doesn't quite. It's not. It's not in a literal sense. More in a geometric sense, but I don't think that is even a subject for this book. So basically, there's not going to be a third observer. If you and your friend witness something happen in a room, you both have your own perception. The way time works is that the past only exists in your mind, in your constructed reality. The future is potentiality. The present of that witnessed event is gone, so it only exists in perception. One cannot actually say the event that you both witnessed exists, but you are both saying it did. But you both have different perceptions of the event, and even if you really want to believe that, as I think most of us do, that, well, it went down one way and we just remember it differently. That's sort of the explanation. It is just as possible that different universes collided, or it's basically, to wind it back down, I'm just saying those two perceptions are equally true. And that is, I think, part of why we see so much confusion in our present day, because we have the internet, we have Windows, we have a crystal ball on millions of different reality slices. And the internet is now offering up conflicting facts of what's happened. And the reason for the Truth Cypher is we need something higher to decode this. you can't really go through life saying, well, what you say is true and what I say is true, but we're both saying different things. Like, that's not really a functional, even though that is how reality, even though that's how I'm saying reality is working, that's not a way to function. So the Truth Cypher is saying, what we're saying is we're going to allow that different, differing accounts of events are simultaneously true, and we're going to provide a cipher to wade through that and function. Because I think if you left it at what you say is true and what I say is true, you get into sort of moral relativist territory, possibly postmodern territory. You could have a real mess. It could lead to nihilism, like that. That's definitely not the place to stop. When you make this discovery, but we have to account for the fact that that is what appears to be happening at the micro and macro level. We'll be breaking down how this works in other chapters, but I think basically what this chapter is saying is why it's called Crisis of Truth is because we have identified. I'm just saying, most people believe truth to be how events unfold. But when you use the word truth, it's actually, people use it often in a higher sense. And I think that is where we, when you have a world where differing events are simultaneously true, truth is not the right word anymore. Like, you could say differing events are simultaneously accurate. But we need to take the word truth and we need to say, well, we need to go one level up. We need to really think about what truth is. Is truth just this event happened, or can truth be something higher? And luckily, the next chapter, chapter 7, is called Great Truth, Morality, Natural Law, Harmony. So we go right there for the next chapter. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope I was able to clarify what this is, because I think this chapter 6 is really kind of the core problem. So until next time, stick with this. We're gonna keep going. There's a lot of small chapters that we're gonna try to pull this together. Thanks.